Okay, so the purpose of this assembly is firstly to really warmly welcome you back after your study leave, and then to talk about the 2 weeks of term that we have remaining. So firstly, a huge welcome back. We missed you so much last week. Last week was a really busy week for us because we had the new year 11 into 12 induction week, which some of you participated in. So thank you if that was you. But not as busy as it was for you doing your end of year progression exams. So well done for getting through that. I'm sure everybody on this call is bright eyed and nobody was up until 4 o'clock in the morning. But if you were, then just power through. It's only a few hours, and then you'll be able to get home for a bit of a rest. A quick bit of news from me. It won't surprise any of you to know that I am pregnant. A few of you have started asking about the plan, so I'm just going to say it. I will work until October half term, and then I will go off. I will come back towards the end of the academic year, maybe around the time you're finishing. So basically from October half term until the end, I won't be your head of sixth form. I will pop in once in a while to see you. The plan is that early in the autumn term, Mr. Bedford will do an interview process for my maternity cover. And as soon as I know who that's going to be, then I will let you know. But I'll be your head of sixth form until October half term, which means I will do the bulk of your UCAS and application process and get you through to the point that you are ready, as I said, ready to apply for whatever it is you're applying for. I'll support everyone who's doing early entry before I go. And then whoever gets the maternity cover role will take over October half term and see you through to the end of the time. I'm going to write to your parents later today and let them know about that and any other bits and bobs that come up in this assembly that we need to talk through. So that's my news. As I said, I don't think it'll surprise anybody, but just officially announcing it. So exam results from the assessments you've just done. Please note that there's only 2 weeks left. Because of that, we're going to release your results to you on the last day of term. I know that's far from ideal, but teachers need a couple of weeks to mark and moderate them. And it is more important that the marks you get are accurate and done properly. In lessons, you will be given your papers back at some point. Different subjects will give them back at different points. That will depend very much on the nature of the beast. If you have, for example, an essay subject and a big class, it's going to take your teachers longer to mark and moderate than if you have a small subject and fewer essays, for example. So please don't be nagging your teachers for the marks. You will get them when you get them. But the grades will be released to you on the last day of term. That means that we will collect them in centrally on the Wednesday, process them and give them to you on the Friday. Meanwhile, just a heads up that if there is a possibility your family might be asked to come in for a meeting during the last week of term, what that means is that one of your more of your subjects has not gone super well, and we want to talk about it and make a plan. I don't mean to be negative, but if there is a problem with one of your subjects, it is much, much better and much fairer on you to have that conversation this side of the summer than after the summer, because that gives you the chance to do anything you need to do over the summer by way of getting extra work done, making any decisions, and so we can really hit the ground running in September. So a heads up that you will know if one of your subjects is a real problem, and if that is the case, your family may be invited in for a meeting, and that meeting will take place during the last week of term. A couple of people have said this to me: what if I don't want to return next year? Fair enough. Obviously, I hope you will return. I love you as a year group. I think you're amazing. But if one of you sat there thinking, I made the wrong decision, now is really your last chance to go. The reason for that is, and again, I'm not telling you this because I want you to go. I don't. I'm telling you this because it would be unfair of me not to tell you this. The funding for post-16 education goes from ages 16 to 19. So you have 3 years worth of funding. If you stay in the same institution, the funding drops off after the end of the second year. But if you move institutions, then you can have the full funding for a second and a third year. So if Finham is the wrong place for you, A-levels are the wrong thing for you, you've realised it doesn't work, this is your only real chance for a fresh start. So you could start somewhere else in September and do your year 12 when you would be doing year 13, and your year 13 when you would be doing year 14. And that could be another sixth form, it could be a college, it could be an apprenticeship. If that is you, I will organise urgently for you to have a careers appointment with Mrs. Kang, and we can enable you to access careers support through Laura Mitchell, our counsellor, not careers support, wellbeing support through Laura Mitchell, our counsellor, if you're on the fence and you're not sure. The first thing to do is make sure you're absolutely sure, because if we take you off roll, you can't come back on again. Schools are not things that you can't keep bouncing around and changing your mind at that stage. In September of year 12, there's more flexibility, but at this stage of year 12, because of the legal frameworks we sit within, you have to make a decision. So you need to be sure. If you are thinking you might not return next year, please talk to your mentor ASAP. Mentors, if anyone comes forward and speaks to you, please approach me as soon as possible, and we will arrange that person to have career support and wellbeing support. Meanwhile, if one of your mentor group does approach you, just have a conversation with them about why they're making this decision. Is it something simple that we can fix, or is there a real incompatibility with that mentee and Fenham Park sixth form? So that's just, I'm hoping that all of you are sat there thinking, no, Fenham's exactly the right place for me. I love it. But if it's not, now is really your only chance to make that decision. You need to have made it by the 31st of August. So it's not like you need to make it today. But if you want to apply somewhere else, you'll want to start doing that quite soon. So you do need to have the conversation with us if you're even thinking about it. Right. I'm going to talk through the rest of term now, and in a minute I'm going to hand over to Mr. Shepherd for a few minutes because he's going to talk about sports day. Today is a normal school day. If you want to apply early entry, a reminder that is medicine, dentistry, veterinary medicine, or any course at Oxford or Cambridge, please head to T20 at break time. This will only be 5-10 minutes. I didn't want to talk to you much about this until after the exams were over, because obviously they were a huge priority. But now they're over, I just want to talk to you about the next couple of weeks, mock interviews, getting the first draft of your personal statement done, what to do over the summer so that you're fully prepared. So can you please all make sure that you're in T20 at break time if you want to apply for early entry. We may not have enough space in T20 because there's quite a lot of you. We may have to go down to the study centre, but start in T20. Right then, tomorrow's sports day. I'm going to hand over to Mr. Shepherd, who's going to talk to you in a bit more detail. I'll just stop my PowerPoint and he's going to share his.
Okay, yeah, my sound should be on. Bear with me. I'm just going to share my screen and load up this presentation. Can you hear me? Am I on? Right, so you probably saw on the slide that Miss Green popped up just prior to this one. Tomorrow is sports day, but some important news before we talk about our sports day. The Mooted Mat sports day that was due to take place on Thursday, that is now not taking place on Thursday. And what's happening is we are integrating that in with our sports day on Tuesday tomorrow. So there'll be a number of Linghall, FP2 and Meadow Park students joining in with us and having their own teams that are going to join our sixth form tomorrow morning. It's going to take a little bit of logistical juggling around in the morning. So I really need your support, Fenham Park students, with that. And I'll talk to you about that a little bit later as the presentation goes on. So sports day tomorrow. Lovely weather, lovely event. Anybody that's walked past the field already, you'll see that there is so much stuff set up. Mr. Amos camps out over the weekend, sets it all up. I think someone had to wake him up off the field this morning. He claimed he watched the football out there, but I'm not quite sure about that. And it's one of the biggest school events of the year. Now, I'll talk to you about some more of the logistical aspects and where you need to be at what times, but in terms of timings, the timings are different. It does follow the same timings as the year 7 to 10 sports day, and it's split into two sessions: a morning session from 9:15 to 11:50, lunch, then a mentor session, and then we are back out at 1:30 to finish for presentations at 3:05. And I'll give you a little bit of a breakdown of how that will work out on one of the later slides. Events. Some of these are on here. Your events are all fun events. We've got a tug of war. We have a climbing wall. We've got some basketball and netball. We have the sack race, which kicks us off. We've got archery. It's got dodgeball there, but it's dodgeball, bench ball, frisbee golf, and some rounders. The students that did this last year absolutely loved it, and they threw themselves at it. And I think they all had a really, really brilliant day, as did the staff. Now, I think this was alluded to by Mr. Amos in his assembly. Miss Green mentioned it previously. Suitable clothing must be worn. Please make sure in line with what we usually talk about, it's suitable. No crop tops, no strappy tops, things like that. Be prepared to be competing in the events that I have just outlined. Also, in light of the weather, make sure we have a water bottle, make sure we have sun cream, and I would advise that we bring hats as well. Be prepared to participate and have fun. The events are fun. You will be participating against other students at times. However, there's a couple of the events where they are just for you as your little group to participate against yourselves. And all of the events, they're non-contact events. So basketball's non-contact, netball's non-contact, and the bench ball, there's a few balls flying around. It's not dodgeball per se. They're all non-contact fun events. And the archery and the climbing are absolutely brilliant. You've chosen your own teams. I'll talk to you about those in a little bit more detail later. And hopefully you've chosen them with your friends, with people that you're willing to participate with, so you can have a little bit of fun, as I keep saying. Lunchtime, it's a little bit of a longer lunchtime. It's very nice. We're not going to force you to do it, but it's nice, and we have had it over the years. If you bring picnic blankets and sit together in your teams or your friendship groups and look at sorting out a picnic and having a nice lunch together. However, obviously, as usual, you can go off site, but it's really, really important that you're back at the times that are specified in some of the coming slides. Bring food for your group picnic. Make sure you are in school by 8:40, normal time. The morning, and again, I'll talk to you about that in a minute, is quite important because we do need to make sure we're down at the track after being registered in our mentor rooms, okay? Again, just said it there, getting down to the track for sixth form students is essential by 9 a.m. because it'll take a little bit of sorting out, making sure teams are here, and obviously then integrating the students from Linghall, FP2 and Meadow Park into what we're doing as well. How will a day work? So you've got to register with your mentor at 8:45. We do need you at the track for 9 a.m. where the sack race will kick us off at 9:15. You will be asked to line up in your groups. It's really important that you do that. It's really important. My voice sometimes goes at the start of a sports day because there's a lot going on. So if you know that you need to line up in your groups 1 through to 12, I'll help you and support you with that. But if we're standing around, chatting, talking, it's just going to delay things. We really, really need to get sorted because the whole school is built around, the whole school sports day is built around quite a strict timetable. So please be at the track for 9 a.m. and you'll need to line up in your groups. Lovely day, so you can sit down where you are required to go. You will have something called a rotation matrix. It's a little sheet of paper and it's got for your team where you need to be at all points during the day. Morning events, there will be 3 of them. The example of a rotation matrix will be on the next slide, but I will give a couple of those out to your teams, to your team captain and someone else, or the people that are responsible in the team. Please do not lose those. They are so, so, so important. Being in the right place at the right time is also very important. And once you get going, you'll figure out where things are. You'll be able to see them. Most of our events are sort of along the right-hand side of the field, with an afternoon event, which is the basketball, which switch from netball in the morning to basketball in the afternoon, and that is on the courts. And ensure that scores from your event get to the scoring table after each time period, after each event. That's really, really important. Generally, it tends to be the team that wins an event or performs slightly better. They get the scores down, but please get the scores down to the scoring table after each event. Lunch is after the tug of war. So I'll show you the rotation matrix, show you where tug of war fits into that all. and that is from 11:50 until 12:45. You will have all of this information tomorrow in your hands through your team captain. And this is really, really important. And a few people try to set up picnics on the field. Because of all the equipment, there's a lot of stuff going to be changed over. A lot of equipment will be out. Unfortunately, you won't be allowed on the field at lunchtime at all. So I would suggest that if you're having your picnics, you can set up on the decking. Staff are going to be using the Cafe 6 area for their picnic, and the grass area between T block and B and C blocks. That's going to be your picnic area if you're staying on site to have a lovely picnic. As I've just said, on the grass between T block and BC block. What you've then got to do is to make sure you're back in school and in your mentor room at 12:45, where your mentor will be there and they will register you again, ready to go back onto the field to start your afternoon events, which will start at 1:10. After you've done your 3 events, all of the sixth form students will go and line the track on the school side, ready for relays. And there's whole school relays, staff relays, and sixth form, your teams, you can enter relays as well to score extra points for your teams. Then what we've done for the past couple of years, we make our way to the E block balcony area, and the students, or the year 12 students, congregate at the bottom of there for the end of day presentation, and we will dismiss you all from that area. Here is an example of the rotation matrix that I have talked about. And if you can see down the left-hand side, you've got the timings, 9:15 to 9:30 as your sack race. Like I've said, I need you there for 9 o'clock, ready to start at 9:15. Then you get into your rotation of your 3 events. Then from 11:15 till 11:50, we all go to the tug of war. We have a little mini tug of war competition together. You then get your lunch, 12:45, back to your mentor room, where I'll talk to you about sort of logistic terms of equipment and things like that in a sec. And then 1:10, you are back into your afternoon rotations. Then we have our relays at 2:50, and then we go up to E block. Not really very complicated. If you look at the top, group 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, all the way up to 12. And if you look down the column, it tells you exactly where you need to be at any specific point during the day. Because you are registering with your mentors in the morning and also in the afternoon, if you bring any bags in, then you can leave them with your mentors. Lower school aren't supposed to have their phones with them at all. However, sixth formers, provided you can keep them on the low down, use them appropriately, definitely no filming is allowed, then you will be able to keep your phones with you. However, you can leave them in your mentor rooms. Rental rooms will be locked up if you so desire, because you will be going back to your mentor rooms at 12:45. And what lower school tend to do is the mentors will nip up, quickly open up the mentor rooms for people to grab any stuff that they need for lunch also, and then obviously you'll be back with them between 11:50 and 12:45 anyway. On to, hold on, laptop seems to have packed in. Yeah, team captains have a copy of this, don't lose it. Later on today, I've put all PM lessons collapsed. That's not the case. It's period 6 lessons are going to be collapsed at 12:50. That is for the whole school. I think there's a couple of sixth form staff that are going to keep a very small number of students with them, which Miss Green has agreed. But you must come down to T block at 2:50. And what we're going to do, I'll field any questions about the sports day, but we're going to try to get you into your teams so that you're familiar with them, and you're going to be ready and prepared to get into them in the morning. So that is that from me.
So one last thing.
Okay. Yeah, one from Mrs. Gossel. I missed briefing because I was on duty. Very, very important. This will have gone out on the whole staff briefing. Again, due to health and safety, due to all the equipment that is set up, unfortunately, And I know we love to let off a little bit of steam at lunchtime. You won't be allowed to play football. The group of students that usually do it, you won't be allowed to play football on the field today. Probably too hot for you to do it anyway. So chill, get yourself prepped, ready for sports day. That's me done. Miss Green, anything from you?
Yeah.
Do you want me to?
Yes, a couple more notices from me. If you could just end your PowerPoint, that'd be great.
Yeah. Hold on. There we go.
So huge thank you to Mr. Shepherd for sharing that information. That was brilliant. So the rest of term, I'm going to come back to this slide in a minute. After Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday are all fairly normal days. The next Monday and Tuesday, the 13th and 14th of July, are the careers conference. There are going to be 2 pathways. You can either pick an apprenticeship pathway or a university pathway. Now, I appreciate not all of you want to do either an apprenticeship or university, but those are the 2 significant majority pathways for our students. If you attend the university pathway, the Monday will be lots of sessions about student finance, writing your application, how to write your personal statement, blah, blah, blah. An apprenticeship pathway equivalent, how to apply, how to do an assessment centre, which is the way that you often get assessed for an apprenticeship. And then the Tuesday, you will have the day with your mentors in mentor rooms all day to write your first draft of your application, and you'll just pop out to attend a careers fair in the gym, which Mrs. Kang has laid on. At the end of this assembly, I'm going to pop this QR code back up. It's really important you sign up if you want to do the apprenticeship pathway. So most people at Finham, generally, about 3/4 of you want to do the university pathway and 1/4 of you want to do the apprenticeship pathway. I just need to know who. So if you want to do the apprenticeship pathway, you must scan this QR code. I know time is tight, so I'm going to print it off and put it on my office door. I'm also going to send it out to parents today. Please scan it by Wednesday so that I can put you into groups ready for next Monday and Tuesday. Thursday of next week is Finham Fest. If you haven't yet bought your wristband, please do. Finham Fest is amazing. For those of you who haven't been here before, there's fairground rides, there's all sorts of stuff. It's basically a massive festival on the field. There's music, there's food, vans, things like that. You're going to love it. We're also going to do a secondhand uniform sale on that day. What that means is children who are coming to year 7 in September, whose families maybe can't afford the really expensive school uniform that you buy from the uniform shop, we've been donated various bits and bobs of secondhand uniform. And we need a load of volunteers to sort it. And then we're going to do a brief sale on that day. I'm going to be asking for volunteers over the next couple of days. So as many of you as possible volunteering would be absolutely brilliant. It's such a good cause because it's brilliant for the environment. And it's also super important for inclusivity that people who can't afford a brand new uniform still have access to our uniform. So it's a really good thing to do. And by Thursday of next week, you probably aren't going to be using your study periods for a lot of studying. So helping fold a few school shirts might be a really good use of your time. And then Friday, the 19th of July, a week on Friday, is the last day of term. You will have some lessons in the morning. There'll be a short assembly for year 12, just to finish off the year with a bit of a celebration of all the stuff we've achieved. And then you will be dismissed around lunchtime. I can't remember the exact time, but your parents carers have already had a letter. So just bear that in mind. Right, that's all I've got to say. I'm going to pop the QR code back on there. So please fill it in if you haven't already. And if you don't have time to fill it in today, please make sure you scan it on my office door. A reminder that if you're thinking of leaving at the end of this academic year, you must talk to your mentors as a matter of urgency. Thank you. Have a lovely fortnight. I'm so proud of you for getting through your exams, and I'll see you all around. Mrs. Gossel forgot to mention ice cream rewards are going to be on Wednesday. More to follow.